And here we are, everybody. Welcome to another cast of the Ris3n Competitive Clash. I'm Revolt. I'm joined here by Killy and Koala. That's Kilimanjaro and his girlfriend. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good,
So, do you
good.
want to do your player intros here?
Let's do it. I'm gonna let you two do it. One of you, who wants to do Stalixx? Which one of you?
I got Stalixx. I got Stalixx.
You got him. All right, let's do it.
Yep. So, in the bottom left-hand corner, playing the orange Zerg, we have the myth, the man, the legend, Stalixx.
All right, Koala.
Mm.
Let's hear Rath's intro. Do it for him.
In the bottom. Oh no, top right. It's Rath, a mech Terran just like Kilimanjaro and myself.
Yeah, directions are hard, but that's where he is. But yeah,
So we
now
do
that
have Wrath here opening up standard Rex gas. Nothing
Yeah,
special.
and I mean, starting out on Eternal Empire, a map that I feel like is very, very good for mech play. What opener do you think you're gonna see, or what opener do you expect? Do you think it's gonna be kind of like a Hellbat BC timing, or just kind of a standard mech opening off Reactor Hellion? What would you be looking for here, Kilimanjaro?
Honestly, I don't know how Wrath usually opens. One thing to note that is kind of strange is he's opening up with the Marine, even though he did go with gas. Usually it's standard, obviously, to get the Reaper. I think BCs are good on this map. I think Lib is good on this map. So are Banshees. It's kind of up to the player. The real question is which fourth or fifth is he going to take? Is he going to take the one with the high yield or not? I think that's where a game can take kind of like a turn on this map, especially for mech. But yeah, his build is just really odd for me right now.
Welcome to
Not really sure
Rathorne.
what he's doing.
Welcome to Rathorne. His build is odd. Yeah.
So it looks like he went barracks and then factory, no Reaper, like no reactor. I don't. It's clearly not a meta build, but we'll see what comes out of him. And Tech Lab first. That could be indicative of like a Cyclone. Not really sure. It's very unorthodox in this matchup. He also have stocks in the bottom left, just playing standard. It looks like, but he did leave two guys in gas.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about Stalixx, CVT definitely his best matchup, but he's a very macro-based player, right? He's not really the guy that's going to come out with the timings. And I feel like we're in a spot where that plays to Wrath's strengths, right? As a mech player yourself, I'm sure you're aware that, like, typically, if you know that, like, your Zerg opponent isn't really going to be throwing the kitchen sink at you early on, you feel very comfortable about getting that early macro up and going and kind of working towards that push that's aimed at killing the fourth, right?
Right. And just looking at Wrath's build again here, like we do see the double factory, which was kind of meta like 3 months ago. The only thing that would make sense here is maybe, just maybe, he's blind countering like a Roach all-in proxy hatch, and this like Cyclone would be good to defend that initial Overlord. But I feel like he gets kind of punished here because Stalixx is just playing like a standard macro game, like you said. So I'm gonna be interested here how he like kind of macros out of this. This build is older, this double factory. Usually he's gonna add on the blue flame here. And go for kind of a Hellion Cyclone timing, but we'll see what it does.
Yeah, and I think the clear and obvious next question here to Koala is knowing only that Wrath is 86 years old and that Stalixx is French Canadian, who are you rooting for here in this matchup?
Ooh. Well, Rath is a mech Terran, so obviously he has some of my loyalty, but I have
But
a
still 80,
special
80,
place.
86 years old, right?
It's
Well,
just better than
also,
French Canadian though. That's the problem.
no, French Canadians are so nice. Maybe that's not a
All
All
right,
right,
we're
well
gonna have to talk after
not
the
a
match.
sentiment.
I'm about to start censoring you. So,
I like that their French is messed up, French people always always poop on French Canadians, but
yeah, I mean
they've been so nice.
there's something slightly delightful about watching French Canadians butcher the English language. I agree.
So not to cut
And
you guys off
French
here,
too.
but we do have 3 gases and absolutely no scout from Wrath here, and I feel like Stocks is like gonna do some sort of timing here with this really early layer and absolutely no drones on the third. So this is looking really suspicious from me.
Yeah, I mean, he only has 2 in gas at the main, but he does have 3 gas up, potentially. Oh, and there's Burrow. Oh, wait, he canceled
Okay.
Burrow. Okay.
Oh,
Because I was going to say, if he powered everything in gas here, got a 4th gas, like, he could be set up to do a Spire play, which Spire play against a lot of mech openings can kind of be a little bit effective, but right now, I mean, he's going to start pushing here with this battle mech, and I feel like Stalixx should be able to defend what's on creep up this ramp, right?
Now the problem is, it's gonna be, can these Blue Flame Hellions, you know, connect? It's gonna be the first couple shots really gonna matter, and it's smart of him to run away with these Zerglings. You really don't want to take this fight, honestly. It's gonna be really hard, and with them both playing blind, it's all gonna come down to this first shot here. A little bit of miss micro with the move command, but it does look like Wrath is gonna be ahead. It should just be spamming Zerglings out at this point, and he does lose a Cyclone as well. It's not the best control from Wrath. He probably just should have poked about the edges of the creep, but he's still coming out ahead, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to pick off every single one of these queens. The rallying links are going to cause him a lot of trouble, so he needs to get out of town ASAP, but he's going to stick around, pick off a few drones, and now it's a question of how many drones can he pick off. Will it be worth it? It's very, very greedy. Oh my goodness.
4 workers here, but all of these Cyclones are going to go down, and you have to realize that there is actually no third insight for Wrath. He's kind of all in with this if you really think about it, and we do have the Zerglings cleaning everything up, chasing these things to the middle of the map.
Yeah, I agree. You know, without a third on the way behind this, I mean, an aggression like that, getting shut down, even at the expense of all those queens and a few drones, it's still worth it here for Stalixx. At this point, he can, and it looks like he's about to, comfortably take a 4th base, and like you said, with no third in sight, I mean, Wrath has kind of dug himself a hole here that he's going to need to climb himself out of.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I like the early Hive here. It's really going to put on pressure for the Terran, especially because as mech, it's hard to deal with Hive without like a big economy. I would have loved to see him morph those Hellions into Hellbats, actually, especially because we saw no Banelings out of Stalixx at the time, and he did have the army to do it, so I think it's a little bit of a blunder by Wrath, in all honesty, not to make them into Hellbats. I think he's a little bit nervous maybe with that push. I don't know. He was definitely over eager, and I think he could have gotten a lot more damage done, but as of right now, like you said, he is kind of in a hole. He's got to dig himself out of it, so I wonder if he takes a quick 4th, like, because as of right now, with the pace of the game and 4 factory, double armory, no third up, he's just going to fall 2 behind him. I think we're going to start to see that in the supply difference right here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% correct, right? When you do those Hellbat-based plays, one of the things you almost kind of need as Zerg is Banelings, and I feel like what we're seeing is Stalixx kind of getting away with a greedy option here. He went greedy, and in this scenario, it's going to pay off for him. His Hive is now done, and Wrath is, as Wrath establishes the third base, and I mean, just look at Stalixx is getting every upgrade right now. Baneling speed. He's getting pathogen glands for the infestors. He's getting adrenal. He's getting 1/1. Like,
yeah, a 7-minute adrenal is nothing to laugh at either. Like, this is going to be deadly, especially against a Cyclone Hellion army here.
yeah, certainly. Wrath is going to need to pull out the A-game micro to deny these Zerglings the critical damage via
and
that.
that's actually a big point in the game too, not to cut you off, but he is coming into the 4th right now, and this could stabilize the game a little bit if he gets a pick off on this 3rd, and Stalixx is out of position here. He really should be in position protecting this 4th. Let's see if he gets the lock-ons right away.
Yeah, if he gets the lock-ons and the scan, he should be able to pick this off. It is getting absolutely shredded, and it is going to go down. Great pick off there by Wrath, but actually there's a run by. Oh no, if Stalixx can surround this, he could turn the tables here. Oh, there's a great fungal.
Fungal.
Oh, but he turns him into Hellbats.
Very nice.
Oh my goodness. So Wrath actually... Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, okay. Wrath gets a huge supply lead, and I think he effectively equalized there, picking off that 4th. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that. The thing I'm confused about on the supply difference is I feel like Stalixx didn't push his lead enough, and he didn't hold the drone key enough, especially after he like held that first push. Like, he did lose 11 drones there, but like I really feel like he should have went up to that 80 drone number kind of right away. There was nothing holding him back, and like he's still on like only 60 drones, which is surprising. Like, he should have had a big lead, and now like Wrath is just definitely back in this game now with that pickoff. Absolutely.
Certainly, and I mean, via supply, it does look tremendously in Wrath's favor, but let's remember that the tech here for Stalixx is immense, right? He got very quickly up to Hive, he's getting the Ultralisk Cavern, he's getting the 2/2, but I mean, in classic Wrath fashion, he gets a lead, he immediately takes another expansion, and I feel like if Stalixx doesn't do something with this tech advantage that he's got, we're going to see him start to flag a little bit in this game.
I don't know if I like the Ultra choice here. I would love to see just like a God comp of like Infestor, Corruptor, Broodlord. I think that'd be awesome versus Mech, but instead he's opting for the Ultras. And he is also seen that he's already been pressuring with the Cyclone, so I'm not really sure if this is a good idea.
Especially since he already has the Infestors out, right? The Broodlord is a natural complement to the Infestors.
We do see the Neuroparasite coming out, which is good, seeing as how Wrath made blind Thors, so that's actually going to be nice for him.
Yeah, Wrath loves his 3/3 Thors. They're super fucking obnoxious. But here we go. There's actually an engagement going down. A great fungal, but the blue flame Hellions are going to
Blue commanding
murder
in
everything.
Infestors.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to clear out most of the mech army, but at what cost? I mean, I feel like Stalixx bled out a little bit too much there.
I just feel like Stalixx is, and not to bash on the guy, but I don't think his macro is on point this game. He fell behind, and I'm really confused as to how, because he took his third base so late, and he even made it into a PF. I'm really confused about how he got such a big economic lead in this game. And I think that Wrath, in this position, it's really easy for the Mech Terran. Just keep rallying units across the map. You know, he's working on his 2-2, that's about to pop, you're going to get your 3-3. And I think now Wrath kind of turned the tides. He's in a good position in this game.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's pushing on to creep as we speak. There's even in classic Wrath fashion, he's overmade SCVs, and he actually brings a few along for the repair. It's something he does actually fairly regularly. And in prolonged engagements, which mech can have, it can prove invaluable with only these two tanks, though. Here come the neural parasites taking over all of the Thors.
Yeah, this is awesome by Stalixx right here.
Yeah, he's going to be able to clear out all of this army. Now, with these adrenal gland lings, they're going to clear out every single Thor, and oh my goodness. Just like that, it's we're like re-evened up, you know?
Yeah, and kudos to Stalixx for like hiding those infestors and taking his time. You know, like that could have been really differently, but because he kept them burrowed the entire time, I think that Wrath kind of forgot about the infestors, and you know, he gets a big payoff there, kicking out 4 Thors. It's nothing to laugh at.
Yeah, and now +3 melee on the way for the Zerg as well. Like, I mean, Stalixx has gotten all the upgrades he wants. He's got 4, 5, 6 bases, which if he gets droned up, I mean, the economy there is tremendous. I think it's all on Wrath to not give him the time to get there at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree. And although we do see Wrath comfortably on 4 bases, it is something to note that he only has 2 orbitals. So it's like the economy for Wrath is not out of this world great, seeing as he has at least 2 orbitals in his planetaries, and he's making that dip into a PF. I would love to see him with 1800 minerals, like throw on like 3, 4 command centers in the back, you know, and some more from into orbitals. It'd be really nice here. Both players macroing up here.
Yeah,
I just think Stalixx needs to get a higher number of drones. Like, he's stopping at 70. There's a lull in the action right now. There's no reason why he can't just go up to 80, 90 right now, especially with all these bases. Like, I really feel like he needs to drone more.
Ooh, Steven in the chat says, who is this you're casting with? Don't recognize the voice. He must have joined a little bit late. This is Killmanjaro, one of our other Ris3n competitive players, and Koala, his girlfriend. So we get the triple cast here tonight. But it's awesome to have some of our competitive guys in the cast here. They provide a level of knowledge that I am frankly incapable of, especially with Terran. And oh, this Hellion run by, actually, it's just going to get shut down. Never mind.
Really hard, like, for Zerg, and this is like a conversation in like the highest level, is like, how does Terran get damage done at this point in the game when you literally have creep spread across the map? And I find that as mech, it's really good to go for like out of nowhere kind of reactored out liberators with range is really good here to get some damage done. I don't think any Hellion run-bys at this point in the game will do anything, especially because Stalixx has fantastic creep spread this game.
Yeah, he does. That's a great point. I mean, literally, in every... Oh, actually, here we go.
Ooh,
There's a
attack.
big engagement here. He's knurling everything.
Wow,
And
really
the
well
knurled
played.
siege tanks.
So at this point in the game, if I saw this many infestors as Terran, and we see this much in gas investment in, you gotta add on the ghosts. I know it's hard for mech. It doesn't feel good to go bio ever, but adding on those 2-3 ghosts really is good. But we do have the scan on top of him, and Stalixx is running away. If he gets these infestors, it's gonna be big. But does he have another scan? He does, and he picks off another one here.
Yeah, and he's picked off almost all of them. He's going to get one more, it looks like, before this goes down. But those infestors really the lifeblood, and that represents a huge gas investment here for Stalixx.
Yeah,
He's
and
getting
we still
5
see
more,
him
but
on 70 drones. Like, you see him adding on the gas right now at the high yield. He understands he needs more gas. He's got to replace these literally at 30 gas.
yeah, I mean, I feel like we're seeing Stalixx here do a lot of things very, very well. I mean, minus the drone count, I mean, his map control has been tremendous. He's looking to shut this base down, but all of it is going to be for naught if he cannot kind of lock down these bases here for Rathorne. He's going to get one of them.
Will fall. If he doesn't have that building upgrade, Neosteel plating, that will go down. So it's a little bit of a blunder also by Wrath not taking that upgrade, because that planetary would have been fine. And we do see him adding on the reactor liberator, just as I said, as if he heard what I was saying, but yeah, that's awesome. This is a really good way to get harass done, especially in this position. You really can't get anything else done other than the range lib, and we have no Spire on the. Oh, we do have Spire on the side of Stalixx, but nothing in the air right now, so this might be really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, Wrath is going to get up a Thor count that is going to, frankly, need to be contested by Broodlord and Fester, right? Like, you reach a level of, like, well, I've got a lot of very highly upgraded Thors. In this case, 3/3 Thors. I feel like Broodlord and Fester is your best bet for dealing with this army, and he's got the Infestors, but it's just Lings and Ultras. Here come the Neural Parasites. They actually get every
Really good on
single...
the libs though. The libs are shooting the infestors down, and we might see them all go down to libs here. He's not marking them out of it, and he's gonna lose everything here. That might just be GG.
Yeah, I mean, all these Thors behind it are still alive. They are 3/3 Thors, which...
However, no buffer for Zerglings. He should be spamming out Zerglings, and he is. He's got 50 Zerglings on the way, and now Thors are historically bad for Zerglings here with absolutely no Hellion buffer. We need to see Wrath spamming out those Hellions across the map right now, or these Thors might be in trouble by a huge amount of Zerglings here, and Fungals.
Yeah, here comes Stalixx. He's going to try and engage with everything he's got, but it doesn't look like it's enough. Yeah, there's too many Thors. There's too many Thors here. Everything is going to get cleared up. GG is called, and Wrath is going to take our first game here in this series. Oh, thank you, Renegade, for rating. Thor is here, says Steven, yeah. All right, second map goes to Stalixx.
Are we gonna go into the next game here?
Yeah, we're gonna be getting right on into things here. The map choice goes to the loser. It's loser picks after the bans. And it looks like he's going to pick Simulacrum here for game number 2. Remember this...
against Mech.
It is. It is. And I think that's a smart pick there from him. Another important thing to remember here is that... Nope, I actually don't want you in there. This is the losers bracket match.
Right.
Both these guys have been knocked out of the winners bracket already. Stalixx by... Who was it? Wait, it was you. It was you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stalixx by you, and Wrath by New Breed. So these guys are playing for their lives here, right? The loser, they don't get another shot. We're not in the winner's bracket anymore. The loser's dead and gone, and I feel like it speaks to the quality of this tournament that we have players of this caliber already fighting for their lives. But here we are in game number 2. You guys want? I'm throwing it to you guys once again. Let's get our player introductions here.
Sandra, why don't you introduce Stalixx in the top?
In the top left is Stalixx, the Zerg player. I don't know anything about him. He's French Canadian though.
All right. Well, I'm actually gonna take over for you here, Kamanjar. We're gonna have lesson time, okay? Because this is how you do an introduction. Okay, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, the Mech Maestro taking game number 1 and looking to continue his victory. It is Ris3n's Rathorne.
Ooh,
That's how you do an introduction.
That was really hype. I feel bad for Stalixx. He deserves so much
better. Yeah, well, you want to know the best part, Sandra, is that he doesn't deserve better. So it doesn't even matter, right? We did it for the guy that didn't deserve a good introduction. So, there's no harm, no foul.
Poor guy, poor guy. I have a question. You said that Simulacrum is bad for Mech, Terran. Why is that?
I think I can answer this question.
Yeah, go for it.
There's too many attack paths on this map for Mech. It's really a debated thing, like which third do you take? Do you take the one that's more aggressive, and it couldn't actually be easier to defend, or do you take the one for Wrath? This will be the one.
The top one, right? The one that in a straight line. Yeah.
So taking your third and fourth in this map is always going to be hard because if you take third on either spot, your fourth is going to be in opposite location, and Zerg just has so many opportunities to attack you and keep you on 4 bases as Mech. So that's why this map is actually really hard, and that's why a lot of players in this map, if they do Mech, they might opt for that Cyclone Hellion style. It's just easier to control the Zerg there, whereas a map like Eternal Empire, tanks are really good because you're able to take your third and fourth kind of easier.
Yeah, and I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think it's a great point, right? Like counterattack directions is another super important thing versus Mech. Mech typically a very strong army, but an immobile one. And a map like Simulacrum that is very large, that has a lot of areas around the sides that you can run around, presents the Zerg with a host of opportunities to kind of dig into the Terran spaces as they're out on the map. Whereas Eternal Empire, like you said, where you can get that kind of line of siege tanks that can defend all 3 bases easily, it's you know, it makes for a different dynamic, you know?
Yeah, and like
See,
something that I don't like from Stalix right now is him taking. He did this in my series too. Is he takes this aggressive Zerg as Zerg? I find no reason to do this. I feel like it's just a little bit too exposed for Zerg at the start.
Yeah, but
We'll
if
see
he
if this
if
is
he does
like.
if he does like a Roach Max, that could still be good, right? Because I hear you, right? Like that safer third in a conventional macro game is probably superior. But if he's going for like a big mid game aggression, I feel like that having that creep spread could be better.
Yeah, it's definitely possible for sure. And we have to look at what Stalix is going to do. I wonder if he took that for a certain reason. We would definitely see that in the mid game. But as of right now, looking at Stalix's base, we have just 2 guys in gas. Everything looks standard so far for me, and he's droning. So no aggression coming from Stalix's game either. And we
but
do have
Wrath
Wrath
is
opening.
gonna do the Hellion Cyclone opening again.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's like the
Yeah, the
stain
So
Battlemech
opening. Yeah.
opening. Steven in the chat talking. He said that's much better. Okay, good. I just adjusting the volume levels to make sure we can hear everybody all right. He says that's good. But yeah, I mean that Battlemech opening, I feel like, and I actually want to hear your opinion, Kilimanjaro, because I feel like I've seen people, you know, there's like the pure standard mech opening where you forego the battle mech, you just open regular mech, and then there's kind of the like, okay, well I'm gonna open with the Blue Flame Hellion Cyclone, and I'm gonna kind of you know, transition into that high siege tank count. How do you feel about those two openings and, you know, how they might interact in a match like this?
Well, for one, the opening that Wrath does is actually bad in the meta. Like it dies to Roach, it puts on no pressure. So like the first attack is super crucial, and like we really need to see like scouting from Stalix. Like the fact that he doesn't have an Overlord in position, is kind of worrisome. Like he has, I don't know if he scouted the battle mech. Let me check.
Well, to be fair, you actually, and this is where kind of the meta of players who know each other's style comes into play. You actually don't really need to scout Wrath. And that sounds weird. It does, but you really don't, because he's very good at the style he pulls off. I mean, this is far from A grade Wrath. His peak was about 4,900. But
Okay.
if you know what he's doing, you already know what he's doing because he does the same thing, but he's capable of executing it very well. And I think that while this lack of scouting looks like a blunder, what it really is one player knowing the other player very intimately, you know?
Okay. Well, we are going to see the Overlord on the attack path to see this attack coming, so Stalix needs to react appropriately. We see him adding on some drones. Okay, there's the Baneling, so that's what we want to see here. He doesn't want to take damage from this, and like because Wrath did no harass at all, and he doesn't even have a third started, or he just started it now, and it's really late. Like this attack has to do damage, or else Stalix is just going to blow up and do really well economically in this game.
Yeah, but all these overlords getting popped here is going to hugely supply block Stalix. That's a big deal. We're going to see Wrath push in here. He's got lock-ons on the queens. There's no Baneling speed, and oh, with no scan, it looks like nothing is really going to go down so far. And it actually looks like Wrath is going to play fairly conservatively here. He's not going to dive too deep. He's just going to see what damage he can get. And oh, I feel like this is all really good. I mean, it's not
Yeah, it's going well
terrible.
for him.
It's not terrible damage, but it's free damage, right? Like he lost nothing to kill all of that.
His army did just finish too, so he can morph these Hellions into Hellbats, and I wonder if he's going to do that here. It does not look like it, but I think he did get enough damage done. It's just like Stalix isn't prepared for it again, and he took a little bit too much damage, losing like 3 queens there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at the units lost, it's 1875 to 750 in favor of Wrath. I mean, again, like, it wasn't like he got in on the drone line or did, like, earth-shattering damage, but all the damage that he did do was effectively free. He lost, I think, 1 Cyclone there, you know?
Yeah, maybe Stalix's style is just kind of weak to this. It seems like he didn't have enough Zerglings again for this attack. He should, or maybe he should have had roaches or just something to defend it. Because if he defends this, he's actually like very, very ahead. Because the third is very late again, but because Wrath traded very well in that engagement, I think he's in an okay spot again. So it's kind of like a mirror from last game. So I wonder how Stalix is going to approach this game now. Is he going to go for Swarm Host? Is he going to go for Mutas? Like I wonder how he's going to play this game out.
Yeah, oh my goodness, actually a decent surround here by Stalixx on these. He's going to clear out a little bit of everything, but actually these follow-up units are going to cause him a lot of trouble. And like you said, I feel like we're seeing a mirror of last game, but things are going better for Rathorne here as these queens are going to get
Yeah.
cleared out, and that leaves almost nothing here to defend.
Stalixx, it looks like he's just weak to this early pressure. He didn't really respond to this correctly, and we see this like really not working out for him now. He's down in supply, he's down in workers, he's not mining at the third anymore, and he's just continually having to now send speed zerglings into blue flame hellions, and everyone knows how this goes. It's just very, very inefficient.
Yeah,
If you
it,
take a
it
look at
goes
the
it
units
goes
lost
one
tab.
of it goes one of one ways, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, and it looks like Wrath is he's gonna peace out. But again, I mean, we took a look at that unit's loss before, and now it's 4,800 to 2,000, hugely in favor of Wrath, who has another army behind this, more Hellions, more Cyclones, as well as about to be planetary third to go and continue the pressure. And he is just all over Stalixx here in game number 2.
Yeah, and if I'm in Raph's position right now, I'm actually not thinking about transitioning to tanks. I'm not thinking about transitioning to Thors. I'm just going to keep spamming out the Hellions, keep spamming out the Cyclones, and at this point you kind of already won the game if you keep the pressure up, because there's nothing the Stalixx can do to get back into this game if you just keep the pressure on.
Yeah.
So I would love to see him do that.
7 more drones as well going down. Stalixx is trying to go up to Hive and Spire, but it does not look as if that's something that Rathorne is going to allow him to do. The third base goes down. And, I mean, Stalixx is reeling here in this series. He's got to really pull out the stops if he wants to stop Rathorne.
And if he's able to take out these Banelings and take out this fourth, I think it's basically GG, and then Stalixx can top out. I just don't see how he can get back into this game.
Yeah, there's the lock on. That hatchery is going to
Yeah.
absolutely get melted. Everything goes down. And no matter which way you spin it, all the cards are coming up Rathorne at this point.
Like, I like that he's adding on the Spire now. I was wondering if he was going to go Muta or something, but it's got to come out sooner, especially because his lair was done so early. Like, he didn't really make a tech choice with it. Like, his Hive is almost done and his Spire isn't even completed. So if he was going to go for the Spire tech, like originally, like this should have came out way before the Hive was completed, you know what I mean? And I just think that he could have played this game a lot better by defending the first push. And we can see that, like, Wrath in this matchup, even though he died to, like, New Breed's early aggression, he's doing really well stylistically in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's always been true of Wrath. Typically, the longer you let the game go versus Wrath, the more he kind of plays into the game. And
Right.
I will give you that his style looks unconventional, because it does. But I think it's kind of factually true that you don't have to be playing the conventional style of play in order to be successful in StarCraft True, and Wrath is living proof of that right here. Right here.
Yep, and this push should just A-move Stalixx out of the game. I
Oh, a
think it
lot
was
of
a really
banelings
good
at the
pressure.
third. But great reaction time. Still loses 10 SCVs, but I mean he's doubling the supply of his opponent.
So I really want to see Stalixx in the next game kind of adapt to this, because if this guy's going to do this for 3 games in a row, Stalixx has to use, you know, his brain, and he's got to like figure out a way to beat this. He shouldn't just die to it 3 games in a row, you know?
Well, I think it's really cute that you said if he goes it 3 times in a row, because we're gonna see him do it 3 times in a row. Game 2 ends. Wrath takes victory. We're gonna throw up our overlay real quick here as we get on into game number 3. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. And we're back here with game number 3. Koala and Kilimanjaro joining me. Let's get our player introductions done here. Let's hear it.
The audio cut out for me for a bit.
Oh, we're doing player intros. Let's hear it.
All right. In the bottom left corner is dun, 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 Ris3n's Wrath.
Hey, I'm with it.
The Mech Terran already up 2 games, you know, using the same Hellion Cyclone opening, but winning.
Exactly the same. I mean, one might almost say painfully predictable. But who do we got up in the top right-hand corner here, Kilimanjaro?
So we do have in the top right-hand corner the orange Zerg again, Stalixx. And this game, I really want to see Stalixx adapt to this. I mean, he can go for the early Roach, that would be good, or just more Banelings. If he's going to get the layer soon, he can even go for speed Banes quicker. Like, he's got to do some sort of reactionary play here, especially if he knows he's coming. Like, the way Wrath is playing, he's making it look like this is, like, impossible to beat. But I know in my Lamar, like, this gets absolutely pooped on. Like, this is not a good build. So, Stalixx needs to just figure it
Yeah,
out, you know, keep calm.
I mean, I think the story of this so far is a necessity of adaptation. Clearly, Stalixx needs to do something to adapt his play to what Rathorne's pulling out, given that it's predictable. And at the same time, I feel like you need to pull out an introduction that can adapt to the fact that your girlfriend just surpassed you horribly and and,
I
and,
was
and incredibly in the ability to introduce players, because I'll be honest, compared to her, scores was pathetic.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm glad we're on the same page there, Koala, because I'll be honest, I mean, Kilimanjaro, you've been doing great in this cast so far, but your introduction there was it was a B
Just weak.
B minus. If hers was an A, yours was a B minus. So
It's as weak as this Hellion Cyclone opening in your MMR.
Yep, it definitely is.
now another thing to bear in mind is that Terrans of every MMR will complain no matter what happens. What do you think about that,
That's true.
Kilimanjaro?
I
No, I
think,
think we really should
well,
ask Koala about that.
yeah, Kilimanjaro told me told me that's part of the race is to always complain. I'll be like,
Oh,
wow, Terran's pretty good. I keep winning all my games in plat. And he's like, no, no,
I
it's
can't
not.
wait. I can't wait till you guys play my Protoss, and then let's get the true saltiness out there,
So a
I
little bit
keep
of a
losing to Protoss. That's my weakest matchup.
Yeah. I could bring out some tears. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to brag, okay? But, you know, I do also at the same time sustain myself on Terran tears. As much as food, that's what fuels me from day to day.
Well, as much as you're talking about Terran tiers, Wrath went 1-1-1 this opening, so that's a little
yeah,
different.
you're right. We don't see
Yeah,
the fusion core though, so this probably is just going to be Hellion Banshee. We'll see though.
it
Yep.
probably will be. Yeah, and it looks like it will, but I think that's a great point in pointing out that Wrath has very little variation in his builds, for better or for worse, but the fact that he's pulling out something a little bit different here could throw Stalixx for a loop here. Because in the first two games, we saw effectively the same thing. And if Stalixx kind of doesn't scout like he didn't in the previous games and doesn't get spores, I mean, if you don't have spores, Cloaked Banshees can end the game. They just can.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If he doesn't send this Overlord in, he's going to be greedy, assuming that he's going to do the same build. He can just die to a Hellbat. Cloaked Banshee timing for sure. But we do see the armory going down, so I think that's what he wants to go for here. He's probably going to keep pumping out the Hellions, keep pumping out the Banshees. Probably go for a Hellion or Hellbat, sorry, Cloaked Banshee timing at the third. And this might take Stalixx completely off guard and just instantly GG him if he's not prepared.
Is this still a fast third
By
From
for
Stalixx,
Stalix?
everything looks
No,
standard
no,
from
yeah,
Stalixx.
everything looks normal. Typically in ZVT, you want your third down at like 2:30. Anything beyond 3 minutes is like really, really, really late. So
Okay.
everything I think is looking pretty normal so far. Once again, and actually we have
Except for that layer though. The layer is pretty soon.
we actually have
So
Steven in chat talking about he says Lingbane is much harder to control versus Battle Mech, and he thinks it's a weird decision. And I feel like he's right. I mean, you can go a lot of Roach Hydra strategies and you will bleed off units, but like once you get up to the Vipers and then later into the Brood Lords, I feel like it kind of transitions better than the Lingbane. I mean, if you're trying to fight Blue Flame Hellions with Zerglings, it's gonna be hard, right? I think that's just a given.
Me and Kilimanjaro tried doing that in the unit tester.
Yeah, I imagine it did not. I imagine it did not go well. But
Yeah, he bullies me.
well, yeah, okay, that seems like he teed you up for failure, to be honest. But here comes the cloak, and actually he's out range of the spore. He's gonna pick off every single baneling, or actually not. Actually, there was already a few, and these Hellions are gonna get cleared up. The queens are gonna clear out one of the banshees, and so far, actually, a great hold there from Stalixx with a Spire to follow up. I think he's actually playing pretty well here in game number 3.
yeah, luckily Stalixx, if you look at his vision, he didn't scout anything. So he literally just went blind spore out of nowhere. And it did pay off for him. And
I
which
love
is
the
really nice
Terran.
for him.
I love the Terran coming through there. Well, if you look at it, he just kind of went blind, so it's just really luck.
Oh, he
Fucking,
did, and it kind of pissed
fucking,
me off, but it worked out because
fucking
he plays a better
Zerg, dude.
race. But
Fucking,
whatever.
fucking Zerg. No, I agree, Kilimanjaro. Fucking Zerg. It's really imbalanced. What are we gonna do about it? As this Banshee is gonna pick off 2 drones before it gets warded away from the main base here.
So we do see that Spire. He should be pumping out Mutas here pretty soon, seeing as how he's floating 1,000 gas. So all that should go into Mutas. And this is the time where Wrath also has 1 turret up, which I'm pretty sure is blind. Yeah, it's just a blind turret. So both these players just putting up blind static defense.
Yeah, and 2 Thors on the way, though. That's going to be very, very strong. I think this is kind of an intuitive response here from Rathorne. At the same time, though, 80, or sorry, not 80, 40 Zerglings on the map here. is going to make taking a third base for Rathorne pretty difficult until he gets that Hellion count up.
Okay, I was about to say what I'm scared about for like Stalixx is he was on 40 drones for a little bit, and he's just now adding on drones. Like he really needs to drone more. I think this is his downfall probably in most of these ZVT matchups. He just isn't taking an economic lead, especially when we see like Wrath like literally just sitting on two bases. The way you counter this, Zerg's in the chat by the way, is you just have to expand. You have to drone up. Like you, if the Terran's just gonna sit here and do nothing and kind of just sit back, you absolutely can go ahead and just get your fourth, fifth. Saturate that up, go for the swarm host, just try to trade as cost efficiently as you can, and then probably go up into that brutal attack. I mean, that's a really good way to deal with this.
Yeah,
So
but
the
I
blind
mean, those
turret paid off.
it certainly did. I mean, those mutas showing up and getting greeted by turrets and Thors. I mean, there's not a much harsher greeting for mutas than turrets and Thors, the two things that are the bane of mutas. And now we see the infestation pit, the double Evo on the way as well. But I mean, upgrades are just super, super late here from Stalixx. +2 weapon for mech units is on the way here before the Evos finish. That's generally not a good thing.
It's also of note that he's getting Banshee speed here, which is a little bit cool. I'd sometimes do this with harassment. The only thing is he already knows that he has spores in all the bases, so I'm going to be interested in how he's going to get damage done with
Well,
this
well,
exactly.
well, and let's be real, and Mutalisks, right? Like,
Right. The thing is about these cloaked banshees with speed is they actually outrun the mutalisks, funny or not. So it can be used to like clear creep, for example, and definitely to be annoying. You can even outrun Phoenix with them. It's just an upgrade we don't see a lot of a turn, but it's a good upgrade for sure.
yeah, certainly, and I kind of like, pulling out something that your opponent hasn't seen yet. These Hyperflight Rotors Banshees are going to be zooming across the map.
Ooh, and we do have a Baneling run by coming in. Up, very good pull by Wrath
Oh,
right there. Definitely taking
Planetary is
advantage.
just going to say, I don't give a fuck about you. 5 SCPs go down, but ultimately an inconsequential amount of damage, I feel like.
Looking at Stalixx play, I really just feel like he doesn't understand really what to do against mech. It seems like he's kind of playing versus bio here, and I think he might get punished for it. This Mutaling Bane combo is really good against bio, don't get me wrong, but against a traditional mech army with tanks, Hellbats, Thors, it probably is just going to get run over.
Savage, but true.
Yeah.
And actually, those Banshees getting some pot shots off on the ground army, and I mean, again, we see Wrath up in supply.
Yeah, and
I,
not to beat a dead horse here, and not to like flame Stalixx, but he is only on 58 drones, and
no,
like
no,
that's
no,
where the
no, no,
score
no,
difference
no. I
comes,
gotta, I gotta stop you there. Go ahead and flame Stalixx. Go ahead and do it. Flame him.
Well, Stalixx, if I give you any criticism here, which I hope that leads to your benefits in winning more games, you just have to drone more. That's really the thing. Terran really should never be ahead of you in workers, and you just should have the economic lead, especially because Stalixx hasn't come across the middle of the map since minute like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I think what he is saying here, Stalix, if you're going back and listening to the VOD, is that you're bad and you should feel bad about yourself. I think that that's a fair interpretation of Kilimanjaro's words there. A little bit harsh, I wouldn't have gone that mean, but you know what, Kilimanjaro, you said it, and there it is.
and again, we have the hive tech out of Stalixx, but no tech choice with it. I don't really know what his game plan is, and he might just get F2'd here. So, but for sure, Wrath needs to add on more Hellions for buffer. He can just get blown up by these Banelings for sure if he's out of position and his siege tanks aren't siege. So I actually would never move out here as Wrath until I'm max. So I think this is incredibly risky, and this is a good way to throw a lead as well. So let's see how this play works out here. He is going to come with the flank as well. This is really smart by Stalixx. Looks like it's going to be a 3-pronged attack here from all sides, and he might just get run over.
Yeah, if the Banelings can connect with the Hellbats, this could get incredibly dicey very quickly here
Tanks in
for
the back,
Rathorne.
no buffer for them.
Oh, and here comes everything,
Oh,
but the Banelings actually connect more with the Thors than anything else. It looks like he's going to be able to clear up some of it, but not nearly enough. Stalixx
Yeah, and we
is
see that upgrade
dropping
lead
in
really
supply.
showing.
Yeah, 50 supply advantage here for Rathorne. He's got the upgrades. He's got, once again, everything kind of turning in his favor. And I feel
But
like it's going to be, the ultimate mountain to climb here to see Stalixx take this out for him.
yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, Wrath played that fight probably the worst he could have, and he just still wins. Like, he's just too far ahead at this point. Even if he cleans this up, running Banelings into this, it's just so gas expensive. When we see him double his supply, he's also taking his fourth and fifth. He's just continuing to macro, and I'm pretty sure Wrath is just going to be able to take this game. I think it was really good mech play by him in this game.
Well, you said he took that fight the worst possible. Super savage Kilimanjaro coming in tonight. I love it. I love it.
But yeah, he just needed buffer. Like, if Stalixx were to drone earlier and have a 200 army, whether that be Roach, whether that be just be mass spamming and circling, whether that be really anything, his tanks were completely out of position, but it just doesn't matter because he has got the upgrade advantage. He's got, you know, just a bigger army in general, and that really should never happen as the mech Terran.
Yeah, and it looks like we're seeing the downfall of Stalixx here as he's down about 100 supply. GG is called, and Rathorne is going to take the series 3-0 and move himself on to the next round of the losers bracket.
Really fun games to cast. I hope that Stalixx in his future games learns to macro a bit better, and I hope that Wrath also gets better build orders because that was hard to watch.
You just made me very, very happy. But yeah, that's going to be the conclusion of our cast for the evening. Sandra, Kilimanjaro, do either of you have any words for the viewers before we call it an evening?
Baby, you have anything to say?
It was just really fun watching these games and hearing you guys cast and learning a lot as well.
Yeah, I had a fun time. Thanks, Revolt, for inviting us.
Hell yeah, I'm glad we could do it together. And again, if you've enjoyed it, drop a follow and stay locked because that is just the beginning of what's to come. We have a lot more our Ris3n competitive class matches. We have a lot more RSL matches. There's going to be a lot to come, a lot of StarCraft for you nerds out there. So keep it locked and have a great evening, everybody. We'll catch you next time.